Hi all, my name's Trish Roberts and you're listening to Live Vegan. This is podcast number 7. I would like to read an excerpt from an essay by Dan Kadehi, who is author of Unpopular Vegan Essays. If you have not already visited Dan's site, please check it out at unpopularveganessays.blogspot.com. Here is an excerpt of an essay titled One Plate at a Time. Some well-known proponents of militant direct action, in brackets, who are necessarily opponents of the abolitionist approach as set forth by Professor Gary L. Francione, end brackets, pejoratively call the abolitionist approach of vegan education the, quote, one plate at a time, end quote, approach, and claim it will be centuries before such an approach can work, if ever. But the phrase, quote, one plate at a time, end quote, wildly distorts vegan education as it is conceived by abolitionists. Quote, one plate at a time, end quote, implies a predictable and ridiculously slow linear growth pattern of vegan education and veganism. However, when we consider typical growth patterns of social change in history, it is chaos theory that best describes it. Like the weather, which is a classic example of how chaos theory can describe complex phenomenon. Social change has millions of small variables, both potential and actual. The interaction of these variables is unpredictable, and can be significantly influenced over long term by relatively small changes at any given time. When significant change or a, quote, tipping point, end quote, occurs, change can become exponential, not linear in nature. Creative, non-violent vegan education, similar to educational efforts over the past 5 decades in the United States to reduce or eliminate smoking, racism, sexism, and drunk driving, is the kind of social change that is unpredictable and non-linear. To get a general idea of non-linear growth, consider that 10,000 vegans will generate new vegans at 10 times the rate that 1,000 vegans will. 100,000 vegans will generate new vegans at 100 times the rate that 1,000 vegans will, and so on. So the more vegans there are in a society, the more rapid the pace at which non-vegans will go vegan. The pejorative, quote, one plate at a time, end quote, description of vegan education fails to take into account both the unpredictable and exponential nature of social change in general, and vegan education in particular. To think of nonviolent vegan education as, quote, one plate at a time, end quote, method is naive at best and completely dishonest at worst. Thanks for listening. Share this and other podcasts with friends and family, and remember, as Dan Kadehi says, we cannot regulate the Holocaust. We need to stop it by going vegan and encouraging others to do the same. Come visit us on Live Vegan on Facebook, facebook.com/livevegan, for all things abolitionist vegan. You can join me on Twitter, twitter.com/livevegan, and you can join Professor Gary L. Francione on Twitter, twitter.com/Gary L. Francione, Francione. Consider visiting Joe Shalbois and Vincent J. Gahane's abolitionist discussion forum, animalemancipation.com/forum. For more information on the abolitionist approach by Professor Gary L. Francione, go to abolitionistapproach.com. Try and talk to at least one person each day about veganism, and do what you can to adopt a refugee of domestication, a dog, cat, rat, mouse, rabbit, and so forth. Try and adopt an older refugee from a kill shelter, since they, unfortunately, are often the last to be adopted or they are killed. We adopted a wonderful older refugee of 12 years, and he's very happy here, and it's like he's always been living with us. And remember, if you are not vegan, go vegan. It's easy, it's better for you, for the planet, and most importantly, it's the morally right thing to do. Till next time, bye for now.